Hello. Oh, gotta pretend that wasn't there again. Okay. Yeah, that didn't happen. By the way, what you just saw, that did not happen. Okay. So where are we? Let me get orientated here. I'm a little discombobulated because it was pretty late last time I recorded, and I don't exactly remember what we were doing. I think, yeah, I think that was fucking up. I think like 20 cards came out instead of one, which is not what we wanted. But that's mostly because I think I did something wrong. I forgot what it was. Wasn't it that? Yeah, I didn't extend the track or something. Yeah, I think I didn't extend the track far enough down there, and that's shot me back, and then the whole thing. Whoa, the whole thing happened. So here, let's just assume that works, because I don't really want to figure that out, because it's not really a problem. Okay, so before we begin, I need to. Well, I think the best way to do this, because let's think about what we still need to do. Okay, we need to get arrivals working. That's the last big thing that we need to do. The second to last big thing that we need to do is actually create walkways to our lobby and create the lobby. And then from there, we can essentially just polish our station a little bit, maybe cover some things up, and then we'll be pretty much done. So I'm guessing within the next 5 to 10 episodes, maybe give or take two or three, we'll be done. So that's good. So let's go ahead and let's think about this a little bit before we begin. Before we do anything, we definitely need to think about things, because we need to just get a sense of what we're going to be doing in the next couple of episodes. So we know we have another cell here. In fact, we should probably label this cell. And by cell, I mean RS latch. I tend to call RS latches. I tend to use the word memory cell as an interchangeable definition. So let's see. This is arrival. Arrival holding cart memory. Let's put a little torch on top of that. See a little bit better. Still can't really see it very well. Okay. So let's see here. Well, let's think about what we want our arrivals to be. So let's go up top to illustrate this. So when we come into arrivals, we're coming in through here, right? And we hit here, and we come to here. Okay, so we land on this button, and there's also going to be another half step right here. So just pretend that doesn't exist. Okay, and we hit this button, and we say to ourselves, "Well, I've arrived." So after I arrive, what needs to happen? Well, we need our arrivals cart to come around and sweep up the cart that we just got out of. So this button needs to release the cart from the holding chamber, and it's the only thing it does, all right? But we want another condition, right? We want to make it so that the cart doesn't come around, the cart in the holding chamber doesn't come around and sweep this cart up right when we hit the button. We don't want that to happen, because what if our user decides, this is going to be a really long ride, I want to go get a drink or something. So he's AFK. Well, if he's still in the cart, and this cart gets released from the holding chamber, comes around and sweeps this up, then we have a problem, because now we have somebody in our cartridge, and that's not what we want. So, I mean, you can do that, and it would be hilarious. But whoever's using your system is not going to be pleased for too long. So we also need to build what we call a pulse generator, and that it's really, its name means nothing. It's more what it does, and what it does is it takes a continuous input, so like a lever or heck, even a button. But buttons, it doesn't really go well with this. It's mostly for pressure plates and levers. And what happens is it receives input, so it'll take input for any length of time, for infinity amount of time, right? For 10 years, for 20 years, for 3 seconds, okay? It'll take input for however long, and it won't do anything. It won't do anything. But when you stop giving input is when it does something. That's when it says, okay, I'm going to change which state this torch is in when the input stops occurring after it has already occurred. So in order for this process to actually happen, you have to have already been on the button or the lever. The lever has to already have been on. So I think it'll be a lot easier to see if I play around with it a little bit. But uh, I'm not. I don't think I'm going to build it in this episode because I really want this to be more of an overview of what needs to happen next. Let's see. So we need to build that pulse generator, and if you think about it, what is that good for? Like why would we even build that? Well, that means that if this is a stone pressure plate, because this is not going to work if this is a wooden pressure plate, right? If because the wooden pressure plate's always going to be depressed. We want it to be a stone pressure plate so that when the user actually gets out, then the stone pressure plate is not depressed anymore. Therefore, it's not giving out power anymore, which means that the process can occur. So then we release the cart from the holding chamber. Only after we have arrived, we have pressed the button at some point, then we have gotten out and come off the button, then we want our cart to be released from the holding chamber. So that's what we're gonna do, and I'll wire that up in the next episode. It's really not hard to make it all. Let's see. So we have this memory cell down here. Well, with the pulse generator, it's really only the reason why it's called a pulse generator is because it's only gonna pulse that signal, that change of state. So after we get off, it's only gonna pulse that changed signal. And by that I mean after the torch, after everything's all said and done, the torch at the end, the most important torch that changes states at the end, it's only going to change states for like half a second. All right? So that's why we need the memory cell. We need the memory cell to capture that and send it to the holding chamber because and the reason why we actually are using memory cells, I'm not sure if I've actually explained this, but the reason why we're using memory cells or RS NOR latches or whatever you want to call them, the reason why we're using them is because we need this to stay open. We don't want this to only be open for like half a second. We need it to stay open for however long we need it to stay open, which is really until we hit a reset plate is what we're looking for. But it can happen in any way that we need it to. But it's really up to you as the maker of the station to decide when it needs to be opened and when it needs to be closed. And with the arrivals, I like to say that you're really only ever going to need to send that card around once, because once it grabs this card, it'll be fine. It should actually make it into arrivals. Yeah, didn't we? We already tested this. We already tested all our track to make sure that this cart made it into the cartridge earlier. So. Okay, so that's all I wanted to talk about. We haven't actually done anything this episode. I just wanted to make sure that we know what we're going to be doing in the next couple of episodes, and we have a good idea of where we're going to be going. So I'll see you guys next time.